Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Sammy. I've been playing World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade Classic. I didn't expect this, but it's actually changed how I look at Path of Exile 2. Now, before anyone panics, this isn't a WoW is better video, and it's definitely not a POE 2 is doomed video. It's more of how this WoW journey of mine has changed my perspective, on how I look at Path of Exile 2. Because when you spend time in a 20-plus-year-old MMO, and then I jump back into a new 14-month ARPG that's still finding its footing, you start noticing things, not in a judgmental way, just in a thoughtful way. And honestly, it's been very refreshing and it's been good for me. And I want to discuss this in the video, so let's get to it. Let me start with where I'm at and why my WoW journey is clicking for me right now, and I'm having a great time. I started playing WoW TBC about a week ago, and in my first week, I basically was just bouncing back and forth between different classes, trying to figure out what class would kind of gravitate to me, and really just see what I would like to play. I tried a rogue, I didn't like it. I tried a warlock, I liked it a little bit more. Then I tried the hunter and it really gravitated to me. I liked it. It did a lot of DPS. It had a pet that could, tank for you and take the enemies off of you. It was a play style I really enjoyed. So after all this back and forth, I decided I was going to embark on this journey and play hunter. And so far, it's been fun and an enjoyable experience. I am really having a great time leveling up this hunter of mine. So for me, the WoW experience just made something click. I don't know how to explain it. Not because it's mechanically harder, not because it's deeper than Path of Exile 2, but because it feels grounded. I log in and I'm not thinking about efficiency. I'm not thinking about currency per hour. I'm not thinking about whether my build is A tier or S tier. I'm just playing the game, leveling, exploring, pulling mobs, managing my pet, feeding my pet, figuring things out slowly. And I mean figuring things out slowly. And I forgot what that felt like. In Path of Exile 2, especially once you hit the end game, your brain flips into optimization mode. It's about scaling, it's about efficiency, it's about layering systems, punishing numbers. That's really the DNA of an ARPG. That's part of why we love it, why I love it. But WoW scratches a completely different itch. In PoE 1, you optimize builds. In WoW, you inhabit a character. That's the difference. It's just in Path of Exile 2, it's true. It's I believe it's all about optimizing builds. What can clear the content, what can get me the most gold, yada yada yada, right? But in WoW, it's you become a character. Do you want to be a DPS? Do you want to be a healer? Do you want to be a tank? It's just it's different. This is where the perspective shifted for me and started happening. And it really is the ARPG brain versus the MMO brain. And the ARPG is fast. It's clear fast, farm smarter, min-max gear, push tiers, optimize your atlas. It's systems layered on systems, layered on systems. The MMO brain is slower. It's that could be taken really the wrong way. It's about identity. It's about progression. It's about reputation. It's about community. It's about long-term character attachment. One isn't better than the other. They're just solving different problems. Now, ARPGs are built around repeatable endgame loops. MMOs are built around world persistence and character longevity. And when you jump between the two, you feel the difference immediately. Now, here's where I think we have to be fair. Life cycle matters a lot in game design. WoW has had 20 plus years to refine itself. 20 plus years of expansions, 20 plus years of iteration, 20 plus years of feedback cycles. PoE 2 is what, 14 months new, and it's in early life stages. That's not even a fair fight if you're comparing the two games and whether or not they're polished. WoW feels stable because it is stable. It's mature. Its systems have been sanded down and tuned for over 2 decades. PoE 2 still feels repetitive because it is repetitive. It's evolving. It's still discovering its identity. And I think sometimes we forget that. When we log into PoE 2 and feel friction in the end game or lack of the end game, or question the direction of this vision, the systems, we compare it subconsciously to the game that have decades to mature, whether you like WoW or not. But you can't tell me with your lens, when if you're playing Path of Exile 2 and you're critiquing it right now, clearly are comparing it to another game, whether it's within the same genre or whether it's in another genre. So I ask you the question, that game you're comparing it to, is it also 14 months new? So these comparisons, they're not malicious. It's just human. This is what we do. But we really have to remember that context matters. One is established, one is evolving. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What WoW is teaching me and has taught me about Path of Exile 2 and the journey that I'm embarking on. Playing WoW hasn't made me dislike PoE 2. Quite the opposite, actually, and I'm going to explain more. It's made me more patient with it. Yes, I know, I can't believe it. Because I'm reminded of what mature systems feel like. WoW's class identity is crystal clear. Hunter feels like a hunter. The fantasy is locked in. The pacing makes sense. The progression has direction. It has one purpose, to deal damage. PoE 2 is still refining that clarity, and that's okay, but it explains the tension. Another thing WoW reminded me of, progression doesn't always have to be explosive. In ARPGs, we're so used to spikes, big upgrades, big scaling jumps, big clear speed increases. WoW is incremental. You grind reputation, you farm dungeons, you earn power slowly. And there's something so satisfying about that. It made me realize that not every system needs to be optimized for speed. Sometimes pacing builds attachment. Now, that doesn't mean PoE 2 should slow down and become an MMO. That is ridiculous. But it does highlight how important direction is. If players feel aimless in an ARPG endgame, it's not always because it's too slow. It's because it lacks clarity of purpose. And I've talked about purpose in a ton of my PoE 2 videos. And that's a design challenge, not a genre flaw. Another thing that stood out to me is stability builds trust. When you log into WoW, you know what it is. You know the rhythm, you know the cadence. That kind of stability builds long-term trust. PoE 2, it's still earning the trust of its player base. It's shipped a ton of content, new acts, new classes, league mechanics, crafting systems, trade improvements. Not all of it has been perfect, but that's the reality of a young live game. Expecting it to feel like a fully matured ecosystem right now is totally unrealistic. That doesn't mean we shouldn't critique it. We absolutely should. But perspective changes the tone of the critique. Instead of why isn't this perfect, it becomes how is this evolving? That's a healthier lens, and it's a lens I encourage you to adopt. Let me be clear about something. This doesn't mean I'm leaving Path of Exile 2. Hell no. I still love Path of Exile 2 and ARPGs, period. I love the zero to hero ramping up of your character and making your build. I love crafting layers. I love the end game mapping loops. WoW doesn't replace it and will never replace that euphoria I have with ARPGs. But I have found something that complements it. Sometimes stepping into a different genre resets your expectations. And this is exactly what's happened to me and why I wanted to make this video. It reminded me of why I love complexity. It reminded me of why friction isn't always bad. It reminds me that games serve different emotional purposes. Right now, WoW feels refreshing because it's different. When 0.5 drops in May and POE 2 makes meaningful endgame changes, fingers crossed, please God, make it happen. I'm saying it out loud. I've always heard, say it out loud to the world and you shall get it. I'll probably feel that ARPG pull again. I'm really hoping I do. This whole experience of mine got me thinking about something way broader. Do we expect too much too fast? And I kind of touched and broached this topic on another video, but modern gamers, and I include myself in this, yes, I'm included. I'm a modern gamer. Expect fast changes and instant fixes. We expect transformative patches, massive overhauls, instant solutions. I want it now. Fix it now. Long-lasting games aren't built in a single patch. This is where the light bulb went on for me right here, guys, and why I wanted to do this video. WoW wasn't perfect in year one. POE 1 wasn't perfect in year one. We're watching POE 2 grow in real time, and that's messy, but it's also kind of interesting, and we are part of this journey watching this baby grow, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So where does this leave me? I'm enjoying WoW. I'm learning. I'm getting that MMO itch. I have that MMO itch. I can't wait every night to log into WoW and playing it. And at the same time, I'm looking at Path of Exile 2, which is the game that I love, with a slightly calmer mindset. And I'm so thankful of this lesson that this WoW journey has taught me about POE 2, if that makes any sense. So my attitude has changed, and it's less of this needs to be fixed immediately. Why haven't they fixed this? Why aren't they going down this way? And more of where is it going? How are they progressing? It's, you know, and maybe that's maturity, but who can blame me at such a young age to be immature? Or maybe it's just perspective, but it feels healthier to me. And I really do appreciate the fact that this has given me a different lens to look at Path of Exile 2. I'm really grateful for that this is the lesson I've learned of going to a different genre and experimenting with an MMO, which is a genre that it's probably my top two favorite genres are ARPGs and MMOs. So I'm very grateful for this lesson that I've been taught, making a left and trying another game. Thank you, WoW. So I'm curious, what do you think? Do you play both MMOs and ARPGs? Do you prefer optimization or immersion? Has playing one genre ever changed how you see another? Let me know in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your take on this. And if you're enjoying these more reflective discussions about game design by the fireplace, sipping cognac, and us discussing player psychology, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's honestly the best way to support the channel and get those conversations in front of more people, which just makes the discussion better for all of us. And I appreciate you all. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. The opinions expressed in this video are mine and solely mine. Healthy debate is always encouraged. Hate is never welcomed. So get over it.